Okay, guys, I'm here for my SummerSlam 2002 review for the SummerSlam Review series. This is one of 4 videos I'm going to be uploading today in this marathon session of uploads. So there's 4 things I want to actually do. The SummerSlam 2002 review for the SummerSlam Review series, the NXT TakeOver Brooklyn review, the SummerSlam 2015 review, which is not a part of the SummerSlam Review series, and my thoughts on our 18 newest people confirmed for W2K16. So here's the first of those 4 vids. SummerSlam 2002 for the SummerSlam Review series took place August the 26th, 2002. From the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island, New York. There are 8 matches on this card, so we have a maximum star rating of 40. Our opening contest is Rey Mysterio versus Kurt Angle. So Kurt Angle goes from being in the WWE Championship match the previous year to being in the opening match here. But it's a very good match. It's 3.5 stars. For a match that's under 10 minutes long, this is very good. The finish is very interesting. Rey goes for a super Frankensteiner, but Angle turns that into the ankle lock, and that's what gets the win. But this is just a really solid opening match, which is rare because normally there's not a lot of solid opening matches around here. But this one is. This was tremendous. For a match under 10 minutes, you couldn't find a better match, in my opinion. 3.5 stars. So then we get Ric Flair versus Chris Jericho. This is a 2.5 star match. So again, it's an average match. These two did have another match on Unforgiven 02 that I think is slightly better, but not by much. And there's a very interesting thing here where Jericho's got the figure 4 on Flair, and Flair grabs the ropes, but right after he grabs the rope, he taps out. So there's that. And then Flair ends up putting the figure 4 on Jericho, and Jericho tapping out, which is really what continued the rivalry was that. But like I said, it's a 2.5 star match, so it's a good match. 2.5 stars. So then we get Edge versus Eddie Guerrero. And while they had 3 matches, their match they had on the SmackDown, I think, is actually their best one, which was right after, I believe it is, Unforgiven 2002. It was a no disqualification match. I think that was Edge and Eddie Guerrero's best match. This is a very good match, though. It's 4 stars. Yeah, this is a 4-star match. It's that good. Eddie kicks out of the execution. There's a great deal of storytelling because Edge hurts his shoulder when he goes to spear Eddie on the ropes, but Eddie moves. Eddie works on the shoulder, including frog splashing on the shoulder, which is really, really good and innovative for storytelling and psychology purposes. And then Edge eventually hits the spear and wins the match. Like I said, very good match. 4 stars. I think their match at Unforgiven is slightly better than this. And their no disqualification match on SmackDown after Unforgiven 02 I know is better than this. So this is their weakest match, and it's still a 4-star match. That tells you something, doesn't it? That the weakest match in a series is 4 stars. Now, keep in mind, these ratings are my opinion, and if you rate these matches higher, well, you're entitled to that. This is just how I feel. Next match, WWE Tag Team Championship match. Lance Storm and Christian versus Booker T and Goldust. Now, this was a couple months before they actually had the SmackDown Tag Titles, which ended up being called the WWE Tag Team Championships. So these would later become the World Tag Titles, but Lance Storm and Christian and Goldust. This is a 2.5 star match. In a lot of ways, it's actually an old school tag match. It works with the traditional tag format of one of the faces taking a beating, and there's even a false tag spot in it, so that's really more interesting about this. And it looks like Booker T and Goldust are going to win the titles, but Test interferes, Test interferes, and it allows Lance Storm and Christian to win the match. I couldn't without the interference. Still a good match, 2.5 stars. So then we get the WWE Intercontinental Championship interpromotional match between Chris Benoit and Rob Van Dam. Now this is very interesting because Benoit had won the IC title, I believe, was from Van Dam a couple weeks prior to SummerSlam, and then him and Eddie Guerrero 3 days later, although it would actually be 1 day later since SmackDown takes on a Tuesday, then simultaneously both jumped to SmackDown, so the Intercontinental title was on SmackDown, but this was Van Dam's rematch for the IC title. This is a 3.5 star match. Van Dam wins and gets the IC title back to Raw, and then loses it to Jericho, I think a couple weeks later, and then goes to face Triple H for the newly made World Heavyweight Championship, but that's a review for another time. 3.5 stars. Honestly, I don't remember how Van Dam won because I was trying to do simultaneously. I was checking my phone about the 2K16 roster reveal thing, so I do apologize for that. But I did see the match, and it is a very good match with Van Dam winning. I believe he won the 5-star Frog Splash, but so then we get what is the weakest match on this show: The Undertaker versus Tazz. 1.5 stars. This match is really what brings this show down. Without this match, you got a truly great SummerSlam. And it gets to that point. With the exception, but having this match on here is something that I can say, while it's good and arguably one of the best, I don't know if I'd rank it as the best. 92 is still, in my opinion, the best SummerSlam. This one, though, would be right behind there, just in terms of when I read off some of this at the end, you'll see why I say that. But Undertaker Test is not a good match. It's 1.5 stars. Taker wins at the Tombstone, and he fights off all 3 Un-Americans in doing so. And then Undertaker goes and gets the American flag. Can I ask one particular question about the WWE? You are an international company that broadcasts over, what is it, 400 different countries in the world or something? What makes you think any of the other countries in the world care about patriotism in the United States of America? Now, don't get me wrong, it's fine to do it for a U.S. audience, but the problem is your audience is not solely domestic. So what really makes you think the rest of the world cares about that, WWE? Like I said, fine for American audiences, but maybe not necessarily fine for the rest of the world, who probably just won't care at all. But still 1.5 stars. So then we get the non-sanctioned match, Shawn Michaels versus Triple H. I believe this match is close to 40 minutes in length, if I'm not mistaken. What is it with Triple H and Shawn Michaels? What is it with these two guys and having long matches that don't need to go, that should not be that long? Okay, this is a match that I believe goes close to 40 minutes, if I am not mistaken. This was Michaels' first match back in over 4 years. So, you didn't even know if he could go that long again at that time. So, why really go there? But this is a very good match. It's 4.5 stars. You actually play this match in 2K15 as part of the Good Friends Better Enemies Showcase. But, finish comes when, Triple H catches the sweet chin music, goes for a pedigree, Michaels jackknife pins, gets the win, and then Triple H hits Michaels with a sledgehammer twice. Had Michaels not shown up, this would be remembered more. Had Michaels not had his return in late 2002 going all the way to 2010, this could have been remembered more. Because this could have been remembered as his only match in 4 years, and does, I think, work much better. But since he had that comeback, I'm not going to say that it ruins the match, but it would have ruined the potential historical value of this match. It does do that. So, now I know that it was Michaels' idea, I believe, to come back, but after that match, but it's a 4.5 star match, though. It's really good. Even if it's probably a tad bit too long than it needs to be. So then we get the main event, the WWE Undisputed Championship match. The Rock versus Brock Lesnar in the foregone conclusion match. Because quite frankly, I don't think there's anyone who thought that Rock was going to win this match. Because this is Rock's last SummerSlam match he ever had, and it was his last match in the WWE until February 2003 when he came back to face Hogan at WrestleMania 19, at No Way Out 2003. But this is a 3.5-star match, and Paul Heyman gets more physically involved in this match than he did in any of Brock Lesnar's matches. Including to this day, he doesn't even get physically involved in Brock Lesnar matches. He's just there to be a mouthpiece for Brock. This is a good match. It's 3.5 stars. Rock goes for people's elbow. Brock catches him. And after a good finishing sequence, hits Rock the F5 to walk away with the win and the Undisputed Championship, becoming, I believe, the youngest WWE champion at the time. Now, Orton eventually broke that 2 years later, because I think Brock was 25 and Orton was 24 when he won. I could be wrong on that. But I know Orton 2 years later broke that when he became the youngest World Heavyweight Champion in a match that doesn't even exist anymore in WWE history. So, this is a match. This is a card. Okay. This is a card that boasts 3 3.5-star matches, a 4.5-star match, a 4-star match, 2 2.5-star matches, and 1 1.5-star. If you take away Undertaker Test, you have a much better show that would get near an A rating. Its total star rating is 25.5 out of 40, which just misses the B- rating. This is a very solid C+ show, which is probably one of the better SummerSlams I've reviewed. I'd love to give it the B. I'd love to take it into the B+ rating, into the B rating or B- rating, because I think it's really good. But Undertaker and Test brings it. I can't do that with Undertaker and Test on here. So it is a good SummerSlam, and I admit that. I just wish they would have taken Undertaker Test off or found a better opponent for Taker than Test. Because this one and the next one, Undertaker doesn't have a good opponent, so, but at least on that show, SummerSlam 03 is not that good, whereas this show, if you took that match off, you'd have a near-perfect show. So, this will be in the SummerSlam Review Series playlist. If you like the video, like button is down there, subscribe button is down there, and thank you for watching. Bye. The next video in this series will be SummerSlam 2003, uploaded most likely Wednesday. So thank you for watching. Bye.